recording, so I will be able to share with your colleagues who are not attending today. So, my name is Konstantin Koshchkin, and today I am presenting a short message related to quantum computing in medicine. And I hope you already knew who I am, and I will not stop on this slide. And I will start with just a few fundamentals from quantum computing. It's a next age of computational technologies, and the main idea is that we're able to calculate not in the field of 1 and 0, but in the whole spectrum of different quantum states, and this qubits, so-called units for calculation, are able to produce calculations on multiple points at the same time. So it's quite complicated. You can read a lot of data about it if you are interested, but in general, it's something like that. So we have a unit of calculation, it's called qubit, and it's a replacement of classic bits in our computers, which we are using day to day. And also there are huge amount of interesting peculiarities in quantum computing. For example, superposition, when we are able to talk about these qubits to be in a state of superposition when it's both in state of 0 and 1, and it's being used in these calculations. So we're in quantum mechanics, we're talking about not exact situations, but probability of certain, in general, it will be photon to be in a certain position. And also quite interesting point to discover in quantum computing is entanglement, when we're able to create a pair of electrons which will be entangled between each other. So their state will be connected, and this entanglement isn't somehow affected by a distance. So it's also being used in communications, for example. And on the technical side, we have gates and circuits which are able to determine a certain state for quants, and they're similar with logic which being used in our basic computer schemes, and it's a replacement of it. And right now, quantum computers are in a state of prototyping, and it's quite similar with the situation which was 70 years ago, when we didn't had microprocessors, and all the logic was in a wired interfaces, and the computer was presented as a room with lots of wire circuits and so on and so on. And later, it become possible to miniaturize all these interconnections into one crystal, and now we have uh, processors which are miniature, and right now, for example, on the conference today, we were shown that in just a couple of years, we will have processors utilizing quantum units, so-called QPUs, quantum processing units, and they will just be utilized as a for quantum calculations instead of complex devices which are being used right now. And uh, right now we have these calculation units consisting of just 4 or 8 qubits, so they are not that powerful as they could be when these quantum processors will utilize thousands of qubits, and these calculations will be really fast. So main idea here is that we will have a huge boost in computational power in a upcoming 4 or 5 years. So how we will be able to utilize these technologies in medicine? And there are a variety of aspects in healthcare where it's needed, and I guess right now artificial intelligence made a huge impact preparing us how to utilize these technologies, because in many cases we need to produce computational power to run our artificial intelligence based solutions, and these quantum calculations are just what we need to make these calculations cheaper, faster, and maybe local on our own devices. So, just a few highlights where quantum computing will be used. Genetic data interpretation, there are a huge amount of data in genetic information, and we need to run huge circuits to analyze it right now. Public health surveillance, just the same. We have 8 billion people, and if we will be able to gather medical data from all of us, and if this data will be in real time, if we will just be able to get temperature, pulse, I don't know what else, just basic measurements, it will be a huge amount of data, and analyzing this data could be beneficial. Optimized clinical trials, also from this area. Biomedical research, I will talk a bit about this later when we are utilizing calculations for molecular structure discovery. Medical imaging assays, it's quite interesting. I wasn't aware about that till today. Now there are huge changes in sensors, and quantum technology based sensors are much better than previous one, and they are being introduced into the market right now, so it's our current technology. Personalized medicine, also related to medical data analysis. Drug discovery acceleration, it's similar with the medical data, and enhanced data processing, it's more general, and cybersecurity. Actually, it's a huge problem right now in relation to quantum computing, because it's being told that in a not so distant future, all passwords will be easily decoded using huge computational power of quantum assays. So maybe we will need to have something different from our beloved passwords. So, what are the fundamental ideas of quantum computing in medicine? The main idea is to utilize quantum mechanics to replace classical computers and to be able to analyze complex situations, analyze different patterns, and optimize problem solving like logistics, treatment planning, and so on. Actually, these points are quite familiar for us as they all are being just where we were trying to apply our technologies of artificial intelligence. So it's quite similar. Drug discovery and development. There was a huge breakthrough in silico drug design related to molecular structure, predictions based on amino acid sequences like AlphaFold and similar models. And after we are able to predict molecular structure, our next step will be to analyze how functions and interconnections between different molecules are related to functions, how small molecules are reacting with big proteins and how they affect their configurations. And if we are trying to scale up in this area, each step will produce a huge amount of data to analyze huge amount of parameters. And actually, quantum computing is just what we need here to be able to make it possible in a reasonable time and utilizing reasonable amount of resources. So we're ready to utilize this power in this field. Just a few words about genomics. Quantum technology can enhance our ability to analyze large-scale genomic data. It could be used in sequencing, analyzing relations between genetic disorders and how these molecules produced by certain genes are affecting our bodies. So it will lead to more precise treatment of a disease, and even we will be able to introduce personalized treatment based on analysis of genetic information from a certain person. Another way to utilize quantum power will be in medical imaging and diagnostic. We are able to utilize higher resolutions, and also there could be a combination of quantum optics detectors and quantum computing to analyze this data which was detected. So we're talking in general about some way of optics and how we utilize this. So analyzing images could be quite interesting because, for example, in a not so distant future, we can imagine that in our smartphone we will have an optic detector to analyze problems with anything what is visible, and maybe we can add some emitters, so we can analyze data not only in a visible spectrum but also in some invisible ones. Optimization of treatment plans, it's also quite complicated when we are dealing with situations when patient have multiple treatment, multiple conditions, multiple drugs, and there could be a huge amount of data to analyze, and it's a good idea to make it fast. So just a couple of examples how it's being used right now. Huge companies who are able to develop such a thing as quantum computer working together with different clinics, and they are introducing these results as a discovery publications. So it's a good idea if you're interested in this field. It's a good idea to analyze publications provided in together from industry giants and technological giants, I mean, and pharmaceutical companies, medical clinics, and there are just a bunch of them being published in the last years. So we will have quantum simulations to predict 3D structures of moleculars. Also, even now we have such a thing as quantum machine learning, which allow us to work with complex data analytics, and there are unsolved issues related to error correction in calculations. There should be problems related to interference from devices in nearby space from quantum calculating units, and they require magnetic shielding, and it's quite complicated right now to utilize such a tool, but there are a lot of efforts being made in this area right now, and I believe that it will change soon. So if we will look on the general structure of drug discovery, we'll see that there are steps related to disease understanding and defining on which target we should aim our drug. So this target in general will be could be also described as a molecular structure. So we have a certain structure identified, and we need to generate another molecule to be able to interact with this target. It will be our drug, and as the next steps, we will need to analyze how it will work in certain bodies. For example, test it on in the laboratories on animals, and later in certain populations of patients to understand optimal dosage. So each of the steps could be optimized utilizing computational power. So there could be simulations of, first of all, it will be design of the molecule, understanding of the target. Later stages will be simulation of interaction of this molecule with the target, and also analysis of overall effects on the body of our patient. If we're talking about quantum sensors, it's quite different from quantum calculations, but it's also very important because these sensors allow us to detect things which were undetectable previously, and in many cases they are detecting magnetic fields, for example, how signal is being transmitted into our bodies, and other information could be stored here. For example, it could be data about cell structures, how they are working. So we are going on the level of single atoms, and states of atoms could be detected with quantum technologies right now. Another interesting way to utilize this technology is to detect neural activities in our brain, and these detectors, based on optically pumped magnetometers, are being used right now in practice. They allow to detect weak magnetic signals, and they're much better than familiar EEG detection. On this slide, so it was a presentation of how we can detect a signal coming through neural network of sea worm, and utilizing diamond crystal, it was possible to detect each signal being transmitted on the neuron of this worm. Another example was related to magnetometry specters. So when we are talking about scanning, and magnetometry will be updated with this optical pumping also. And the most interesting for me part was about formats of molecules. So it's so-called docking, when we have a structure and we design an answer for the structure. So similar idea is related to genetic information. For example, RNA folding prediction would work in a similar way. So these technologies are helping us to study genomic data, study amino acid sequences, and how they are being utilized in drug discovery pipelines. We can use similar technologies to analyze drug interactions, and if we are talking about molecular structures and how they're interacting with our bodies, it's simpler to analyze how they will interact between each other. And of course, it's a good idea to understand how our components from our bodies will be involved in this process, because it could be not a direct interaction, but it could be affecting certain mediators. And to finalize, I will mention that there are huge risks related to cybersecurity. I also mentioned them before, and I guess there will be a huge changes related to cybersecurity and how we are able to protect our data. So thanks for joining me today, and it's all with my presentation. Maybe I should go deeper with it, because I didn't have much time to analyze everything and present it in proper way. So I will spend some time during the holidays and I will share with you updated version of this presentation with more structure and I hope more insights how this could be used. Okay, I'm looking at your questions now. Where can I find your recommendation on writing a scientific article? I sent everything in our group in Telegram. If you didn't had a chance to find this information, please send me a message and I will send it to you once again. Next message, I read an article about a technology that assays the effectiveness of chemotherapy and radiation therapy in cancer patients. It can also create personalized chemotherapy treatment for each patient. You may already know that chemotherapy and radiation have significant side effects. Yeah, it's true. But the technology can generally reduce side effects and manufacturing process takes only a week. Can you explain how this is possible and whether it's currently being used in hospitals or it's something expected in the future? I will be happy to read this article as well, and maybe I will present it on our next meeting, or maybe you should present it. I don't know, or at least I will be able to provide you my comments on this article. Please share it with me in our messages. Uh, would it be possible to work on the project together with other students? Yes, of course. I will be happy if you will organize as a team and work together with each other. It's just perfect. Okay. Any more questions? Maybe some of you want to ask them by voice and not with the chat. Are there any programs or applications for data analysis or any data health stores that we can start with? Yeah, there is a huge amount of medical data available online. I will recommend you to go to Kaggle and browse what we have there. I don't recommend to use any specific programs to analyze this data. Right now, it's state of the art to use Python, and there are a huge amount of public available tools designed in Python, and it's quite simple to use. So you should start with defining your goal, what problem you are going to solve, and after that, it's not that difficult to find suitable instruments to analyze this data. So I will advise you to start with a problem, next to find the data, and next to find the tool to analyze this data. If you will not be able to find the suitable data or tools to analyze it, you're welcome to reach me, and I'm more than happy to help you here because it's my major occupation, I guess, to find the tools to analyze data. Okay. What's the types of articles where presents works and publish them with you? There are three types of articles which could be created by you. It could be your own research based on data, patients, I don't know, everything where you can, all what you can get, you can analyze and produce your report based on these studies. Next one will be a review publication. I'm not a big fan of reviews because journals right now are not taking them in general, and maybe it could be published as a thesis on a conference or something like that. And the third one, my favorite, is systematic review. It's analysis of other publications, getting data from multiple sources, combining them into a meaningful structure. And why I like this type of publications, because they are they could be easily done by everyone, and you don't need to have access to some novel data or equipment or I don't know, patients and so on. Or all you need is internet connection and ability to search for other publications, and it could be easily done. On our, I guess, previous meeting, I was able to describe how to do so. Other free courses available to us on the Innopolis website. Maybe you should check. I'm not sure. At least I'm not sure that they
They
are available.
are available.
They will.
They will.
Sorry, I will mute you. Uh, they will be not in English. They will be in Russian, I believe. And there are a huge amount of courses on Coursera and on other websites. And actually, right now it's not a problem at all to find a course. And I'm not sure that you should go to Innopolis. Is the publication paid by the student or other funding options? It's a good question, actually. There are always options to find a sponsorship for a publication, and in many cases, you are able to publish it for free. And I will recommend to start with pre-publication options, and if you need a high-level journal, you should try to write them a letter that you're unable to pay. You're a student from a not that rich country and you need some support, and in many cases they have funds connected to the journals, and they will be able to advise you which fund you should reach, and they will help you with payment for this article. Yeah. Can you share some information about the possibility of publishing in university journal? It's not very good, actually. There are a huge line to publish in a section of university journals, and it's sad thing to say, but I wasn't able to publish just a single article there. But I have nice publications in international journals, and it was easier to publish there than in our university. So it's don't worth it at all. But you should try. You should actually try, and maybe you will be lucky to be published. Yep. It's if I'm correct, it's free and not requiring payments. Um, Actually, journals accept publications in English language also. It's quite interesting. Uh, what are the reliable sources we can use to gather information on quantum computing and its applications in medicine? It's a good question. Right now I am discovering the sources on my own, and I will be able to share them with you, I guess, in a week or so. I will assemble them in a presentation. I'm interested in conducting research on the use of technology for early disease diagnostics, such as breast cancer. Yeah, it's a good idea. I will try to help you, and please send me a message, and I will try. We are running out of time, and if we will be disconnected, please send me all your questions in our chat, and I will be more than happy to answer you, because your questions are actually very good, and it's a pleasure for me to support you here.
Thank you.
Will you guide us regarding scientific articles? Yes, sure. Your goal is to write an article, and on our previous meeting, I shared you